Good evening, everybody. Could you please confirm if I'm audible? Could you please put a yes in the chat if I'm audible?
Sir, you're audible.
All right, okay, thank you. Good evening once again. Thank you all for registering and attending this national level online faculty development program on outcome-based education and application of generative AI in teaching and research, jointly organized by the Internal Quality Assurance Cell IQAC of University of Engineering and Management, Jaipur, Rajasthan, and the Internal Quality Assurance Cell IQAC of Nirmala College, Mohatpura, Autonomous, Kerala, in association with IPSR Solutions Limited. Today, we would like to welcome, we have two resource persons. The first session will be taken by Dr. Kamal Shah, Principal, St. John College of Engineering and Management, SJCEM, Palghar, Maharashtra, and the our second session by Dr. Mendes Jacob, Professor and Director, MCA, Marie College, Kuttikanam Autonomous, MD and CEO, IPSA Solutions Limited. And we would like to welcome all the FTP participants of today. Now, about this FTP, this is a 1 week FTP live session from live. We have the timing of 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. This is actually our 6th day of the FTP. Now, fee for LMS access and processing of certificate is rupees 400. All the participants who have paid the processing fee will receive the LMS access, the video recordings for all the days, and the provision to download your FTP completion certificate. The procedure for receiving the certificate will be informed to you towards the end of the FTP. Now, if any of you are yet to make the payment and would like to receive the LMS access and the certificate, you can make the payment of rupees 400 to the account details I've already put in the chat. If you're unable to attend any of the live sessions, they will be available in the LMS. Now, we have shared the LMS access details to emails to those who have shared the payment proof in WhatsApp till yesterday. If you have shared the payment proof in WhatsApp today, you will receive the LMS access details later in the day or by tomorrow. If you have any trouble in attending the WebEx online session, you can join the YouTube live session, the link of which I've put in the chat. Use that link to join in the YouTube live session. Now, my name is 𝐬𝐧𝐥𝐢𝐧𝐞. I'm working as Global Relations Manager with IPSR Solutions Limited, and I will be the event moderator. Now, coming on to today's sessions, the first technical session for the FTP will be outcome-based academic research. Now, this is going to be delivered by Dr. Kamal Shah, ME, PhD, Postdoc Quantum Computing, Principal, St. John College of Engineering and Management, SJCEM, Palghar, Maharashtra. Dr. Kamal Shah, who is a Principal in charge, St. John College of Engineering and Management, is a trainer for AICTE, Atal program, and other faculty development programs. She has trained more than 3,000 faculty till date on OBE NEP 2020, blockchain technology, and quantum computing. She has over experience of 25 years. She is a recipient of 20 Pragmatic Women of India Award. Over to you, ma'am.
This outcome-based academic research model, this particular model, we want to educate ourselves that along with our teaching learning regular process, we can even do research. So without further delay, let us start with the presentation. The presentation is visible now?
Yes.
Thank you so much. So let us understand that as a teacher, how we can do a better teaching learning, and along with that, how we can improve our research capability. So basically, OBER model, there are 4 steps in implementation. So we will go step by step and we will understand this particular model. It's a framework, like any subject teacher of any level, like including school teacher, junior college, engineering college teachers, any humanities, arts teachers, or management school teachers, any teacher or any faculty member can use this model with their own understanding, with their own subject. Basically, we will go into the 4 step during this 1 hour session. We will understand and implement how the outcome-based academic research model, we call in short as a OBAR. So how we can design that model for our own subject. And then when we implement that particular model in a classroom along with the students, how we can cherish the outcome. So this is a stepwise journey. Slowly, we will build as the slides are going on. Now let us understand that normally, like we all are faculty members. So when we come to the academia or in any college, we choose profession as a faculty, as a lecturer, assistant professor, professor, associate professor. Basically, when we join any academic institute, we feel that the core is a teaching learning process. So normally for any teacher during the semester start or year start, the department decides the list of the subject, or sometime if it's a affiliated university, you get the syllabus from the university, and we select the subject of our choice, our domain every semester. Then normally it's a good practice that we see that we have got this content, or if we are autonomous, then we have designed this particular content for the subject, how other institutes are delivering similar content to their graduates. So we start comparing this our content with other university. Uh, I would say one more best practice for IT, computer, that kind of a circuit branch, engineering students, and engineering colleges. We every year get a Gartner report, which give a 5 year projection for the next technological development. And we can see that whatever we are teaching now, will it be relevant for next 5 years or no? We identify the gap in the subject and we try to cover that as a content beyond syllabus. If we go for NBA and NAC accreditation, like there also there is one whole section on the content beyond syllabus, that how you have identified what are the things in content beyond syllabus, by delivering that how you are improving your teaching learning. This is a usual cycle we follow in any academia teaching learning process. Is it the same for you also? Would you anyone like to unmute and say that this is the same thing for your institute, or you as a faculty, you are doing the similar thing when you got your subjects? So most of us, we are doing the similar process. Yeah. So now as a student, like how the students are receiving this particular thing when they come to the college, first year, second year, third year, like whenever they are there in the college, what students are doing? Students, they learn the theory, they perform the experiment, they learn from some of the case studies, whatever are there. From uh, during the class, outside the class, we have sometimes peer learning sessions, and all those things which enable students to learn theory, perform some experiments and case study. Nowadays, all colleges, they have started arranging some webinar, seminar, expert talk from the industry. During our teaching learning, we have started showing some videos, or students are registering on SWAYAM, NPTEL type of MOOC courses. And then at the end, they prepare themselves for placements and higher study. This is a student life cycle in any academic institution, where students will come, spend 3 to 4 years with us, and then they leave the organization. But here, one particular component which is missing, that this particular perspective of faculty and student, which we are doing traditionally and we keep on doing the thing, uh, we don't know that how and what is expected from us, faculty members always feel that they have, whenever you ask that what is a research for you to any faculty member, today even if I'll throw a question that according to you, what is your research perspective? Most of the time I get the same answer that I want to pursue PhD. I want to do a good publication either in the conference or in a journal. I want to write some research grant proposal to government authorities and get some funding. And I want that there are some competitions on the national level, project competitions, idea competitions, hackathon, which we want to win prizes in that. So when we ask anyone about the research perspective, usually we get this answer. And I am sure that you also have similar kind of the answer. So our routine activities are different and our research perspectives are different. Why should we think as a faculty about the research perspectives? Because we all are working in the organizations. Those organizations are participating in NBA, NEC, autonomy, NIRF ranking. Some of the organizations, those who are very good, even they go for the international ranking. Now NEP 2020 has come. It is a compulsion on all the institutions to implement. And by doing all this, what we are doing, we are improving the branding of the organization. So branding of the organization is governed by some of the bodies, and all management, all the institutions, they are now going for this better branding, because when we have a better standing into the market, we get a better student, and when we get a better student, we give a better outcomes. So this is a cycle. So in this way, the institutions are focusing on the better branding, better accreditation grades and all. Whereas faculty members, as a faculty member, as a student community, we are busy in our own life cycle, which we were doing for last few years. So when we observe this activity, when we observe these expectations from various uh, side, like when we evaluate in the holistically the situation, we find that there is a gap between expectation and our activities. Do you agree on this, that there is a gap between expectations and the, I would say, the our routine activity, the way we conduct ourselves during the semester, the way the students are conducting themselves during the semester, and at the end of the year, there is some other expectations by the higher authorities. So in this way, there is a gap. Now, today we want to learn that how we can fill this particular gap seamlessly without putting lots of stress on ourselves, how we can do this particular gap analysis and how we can improve our teaching learning process. Now let us understand that how to bridge a gap. Now before that, any one of you would like to unmute yourself and share your view that you have any idea that how to bridge the gap? Because we all agree that there is a gap, okay, in our activity and the expectation of the research component, there is a gap. Anyone is there who wants to like share their view that how to bridge the gap? Now, what is the thought process behind the design of this OBAR model? I'll share a story of the one process. It is called the Kaizen principle. Some of you, those who are from the management background, it is that with minimum efforts, we should get the maximum outcome. Okay. We should improve our processes in such a way that the outcomes are optimized or maximum in a nature without putting additional resources, without increasing stress onto the system. That is a basic principle of the Kaizen. Now you are able to see one picture on the screen. I'll share a story, or I'll share the process behind it. In Australia, there is the ship called the Merino ship. Now this ship, they have a huge bulk of wool on their body, and they are giving the best quality of wool for knitting the sweaters or woolen blankets and everything. But because of that bulk on their body of that wool, what happened after few days, there are insects which develop inside the body, and because of that the quality of the wool also suffer and the ship also suffer, because they get that kind of a skin disease. So initially what the farmers, the people, shepherds, those who are doing the breeding of the sheep, what they were doing, they were making a big pit like we have a pond, and then forcefully they were taking all the ships inside, and then they used to put the ship forcefully inside that pit. That was whatever farmers were doing, the shepherds were doing, it was correct. Disinfection process, that chemical should go inside the skin, and the healthy life of the sheep and better quality of the wool. The objectives were very clear, but the process, in the process, the sheep were very much uncomfortable, and they were like psychological disruptions were there which were affecting their health. So when this situation was analyzed, what has happened, that the people thought about it and they said that let us make one pit, like whenever the ships are moving, there is one characteristic of a ship that they move in line, one after the another like that. So what they have done, in their way of movement, they made some arrangement like this, what is shown in the picture. So like naturally when they were walking, there is a ramp. They slowly go inside the pit. There is the chemical disinfecting material which is put on the, automatically it is deposited on the ship and ship will go out smoothly. So ship never realized that disinfection process has happened, but the process has happened. So this Kaizen principle is a base of OBER model. Because if you tell either your student, write a paper, you are doing a project, generate a paper, they are not going to do it. Or they will feel it like you are burdening them. Similarly, if you are a head of the department, you are a principal, or you are an authority in the institute, you tell your subordinate, do a research, produce a paper, produce a patent, do copyright, do this, do that. It is also suffocating situation for the faculty. So then it impact their health, and when their health is impacted, the teaching learning also impacts. So similar situation we want to create, that we want to create some path for them where they sail smoothly. They don't realize that they are actually doing very good research. They are improving their capability day by day. They are becoming good teachers, good student, and we are getting a very good outcomes. So we in this way want to bridge that particular gap. So now let us understand how we can do this. So the solution is, I have designed this framework called outcome-based academic research model. Now there is a 30-second given to you. Just find out a way that penguin should reach this particular fish within 30 seconds of time. So your time starts now. Just see that how many of you can reach to the fish. Penguin should get the fish in 30 seconds. Got the answer? Got the answer? Okay. Now, how many of you have started the way from penguin to fish? Kindly raise your hand. The path starts from the penguin and reach to the fish. So it might have taken around 20 seconds if you start from penguin to fish. How many of you have started from fish to penguin reverse way? Is there anyone who tried from fish to penguin? Because ultimately we have to go up to fish. Is there anyone who started? Those who have started from fish to penguin, the time will be minimum around 15 seconds or less than 15 seconds. Okay. Because the penguin to fish, there are multiple ways you have to check. Whenever you check, the penguin has around 1, 2, 3 ways as a starting point, but fish has only one way as an end. So when you start from the end, your process is very fast because you have only one final outcome. Now you might be wondering, we all are so educated, we all are teachers, we all are faculty, senior people, why we are solving this bacha type, very kiddish puzzle. I want to make one point clear that OBAR model starts from the end. The way those who have started from the fish reach to the penguin, they could finish this puzzle in 15 seconds. The OBAR model also starts from the end. So what is the definition of outcome-based research model? It is that it starts at the goal. Whatever is your final target, the model starts from that particular point. And then it works backward in the stepwise manner so that you can achieve your goal. Now let us understand that how the model works from the goal to the uh, process. Okay. Now let us understand this OBR framework or a model. Now whichever institution you are working with, every institution has a vision. Okay. It's a long time vision that after 10 years, 20 years, 30 years down the line, we want to become something. So all institutions have a vision. To achieve that particular vision, we have defined our mission. Mission is how we will, what activities we will do, which way we will progress step by step so that we can achieve our vision. Now to do that mission or activities under institute, there are so many departments. Okay. And every department has to work in the sync with the institute so that institute can go ahead. If one department works in one direction, another one in another direction, institute can never grow. So all institutes, all the department, they define their program educational objectives, which are in line with the institute mission. Under the department, whichever department we belong to, we have students with us. So what we do, we want that our graduates, when they come to the department first year to final year, there are some characteristics which should be developed in 4 years in them. So at the end of the 8th semester, or might be if your course is 3 years, at the end of the 6th semester, some kind of attributes will be developed as a engineer, as a graduate into them. And if your program is very specific, we want some specific talent also should be imbibed into the students. To do this, what we design as a department, we take lot many subjects, around 48, 50 subjects, bundle is there. Every year, 4, 5 subjects or 10 subjects we teach to the student. And every subject has a specific outcome and the objective. They are called the course objective and course outcomes. When we have a particular subject or a course, what we design in that, we have a theory, We have practical, we have tutorial. Okay. And as per the academic calendar and the timetable of the class, our academic load, we keep on teaching this theory, practical, and tutorial. This is our routine outcome-based education system. Now here one component I would like to add, that is during the academic delivery, let us start some enrichment research activity which will help students to build that research component. It will help faculty to achieve their final research outcomes. Now, usually in all the academic institutions, we have a peer learning slot, we have self-learning. During lecture also, we can design the activity and we can give it to the students. This research-based activity is a heart of the OBER model, how to design. Now let us understand that how to modify our process slightly based on Kaizen principle so that we can achieve a better outcome in the research space, which will help us to achieve our final outcome. As we want to take our PhD degree, we want to publish the paper, patent, book chapter, book, we want to be a, I would say, a resource person somewhere. So consultancy to the industry you want to provide. All those research outcome, how we can twin along with one subject, let us understand the process. Hope OBR model is clear to you. Till this point, it was like normal outcome-based academic, outcome-based education model. Now we are adding this enrichment activity and we are understanding that how can we utilize the same model for better outcomes. Now let us take some subject of your choice. Okay. I am taking one subject of Green IT under University of Mumbai. This was an elective subject for third year IT engineering students. Parallelly, if you have any notebook with you or any gazette with you, you can take your own subject also and you can start developing your own model side by side with me. No problem in that also. Now, first of all, what we have to do, we have to take a subject, whichever subject is given to you. We have a syllabus, either if it's autonomous, we design the syllabus, or the syllabus is given by the university. After that, as I have shown previously, we identify the gap and we design some activity to fill the gap. Now let us start with the subject. Now with the subject Green IT, that subject has 6 modules. It is a 45-hour subject having 100 mark total examination pattern. So in that total 6 modules we have to cover: introduction, software development, data storage, green IT services, like that. So these modules are defined. Similarly, I hope your university also has a subject and there are some modules, 6 to 8 modules, which we teach during the semester. Now, when I got a subject, what we usually do as a faculty, we start doing COPO mapping. Course of outcomes are defined and then program outcome, we do the mapping that whatever contained COs are defined, how many POs we can achieve with this. Now for our department, the POs are PO1 knowledge, problem analysis, investigation, design, tools, teamwork, communication skill, professionalism, help to society, ethics, lifelong learning, and project management, financial management. For your department, the sequence could be different also. But for us, it was like this. So I'm taking this as a base. And these are the 6 course objectives defined for achieving the course outcome and the mapping with the program outcome. Now, when we do COPO mapping, this is the picture what I got as per my understanding of COPO, and which all of you must be doing. Some of the university they write 3, 2, 1. Some of the universities they preferred high, medium, and low type of mapping. but ultimately it is like 3-1 or high, medium, low. I got this kind of mapping. And majority of you, whenever you take your subject, the core subjects in the theory, you might get this kind of COPO mapping. Do you agree that our concentration of the PO mapping is only up to PO1 to PO5? Do you get this kind of experience, or you have a different kind of experience? Anyone would like to share? You have similar kind of experience or different experience when you do COPO mapping? Okay. So what we have observed that majority of this PO6 to PO11, which are responsible for the attitude development of the students or the soft skill development of the students, is totally neglected by our academic delivery. We are not able to get the correct attitude development, skill development, research aptitude into the students. So what we can do now, if that is a situation, now what we will do, that we can, now what we want that student should be developed holistically. Everything student should develop, holistic development of student. Knowledge should come from theory teaching, skill should be developed through some kind of experiential learning, and attitude also should be developed, so that he become, that critical thinking process, research aptitude is developed among the student and the faculty. So better PO attainment will achieve better knowledge, skill and ability into the students. Now we will start how we can do. So I'm taking an example. We have one module on the green software. Okay. This is a content. You can just compare your own content with the syllabus. So software, that particular module, what the content in that module was, that whenever we do digitization of any manual process, usually it is claimed that we are saving energy, it is helpful to environment, carbon footprint will reduce. But there are matlab software also have a kind of carbon footprint, because software also consumes electricity, runs on the computer, and then how to make that electricity consumption minimal, all those techniques were taught inside that particular chapter. Just to give a reference that what we are doing in that chapter, I have explained. Now let us see that whenever you have module, you have a subject of 6 to 8 module, you have taken one module for example, and how you can design OBER model. Now you can just think that what I want to achieve as a faculty when I am teaching this subject in this semester. So when I personally got this subject, I decided that end of the semester, I will develop good research paper and I will be submitting it to the UGC Care Level Journal. So that was my target on day one. As I shown you that when you start from the fish to penguin, the process is very fast. So I decided on day one, what is my target? Okay. Then after that decision of this, that I want a paper. Now for paper, what I want a very good introduction. I want very good literature survey. I want results. Okay, result analysis. I want graph. When I write everything into the paper, the acceptance probability of the paper is quite high. But as a faculty, I don't have that much of time because I'm busy in my teaching learning process. So I will show you how I made this process simpler, and at the end how I achieve one research paper for my regular teaching learning class using OBER model. So when I got the subject, I decided that I want to write a research paper on green software. Then only one thing I have done, that in the library, like we have that databases, no? From that, I selected one good paper, which is telling that what are the different level or different languages are there and how much electricity they are consuming. My job only is to find out that base paper. Once I get that base paper, this is that base paper, Energy Efficiency Across Programming Language. By this authors, I got the paper. After that, under the paper, this table was given that there are so many software languages and there are sections. Now, as an IT teacher or computer faculty, I was not knowing that there are so many languages exist and people are using this. Because usually we know C, C++, Fortran, Java, JavaScript, Perl, maximum, PHP and Python. These are the few languages we know and their application. But there are so many languages. Even students might not be aware. So first activity what I have designed under OBER is I have divided the whole batch in the whole class into four groups. And I said that these are the four languages as per this table, and let them take one group. So 10 students, 15 student in one group, and they everybody nowadays carry mobile phone in the classroom. Immediately they put those languages onto the Google application of the language where we can use what is this language about, who developed, which company is using. All those information they got within 10 to 15 minutes. In a class, after 10 to 15 minutes, what they have done, they started representing their finding. So in a class after 10-15 minutes, students learn about more than 60 different coding language. They understood that these are the language, what is the specific use, when this language is used, what is advantage, what is a disadvantage. So I as a faculty doesn't have to put effort for 60 languages and prepare my PPT and explain. It is their work, and then it is a peer learning sharing. And when they share, they become so, they also learn. Like they give 5 language ka data and they receive another 50 language ka data. So in that way, it's a collaborative learning attitude which are developed inside the class. Now, when I developed that attitude into the student, the second thing I wanted some input for my research paper. Okay. So next thing what I have done, that I shared this data with the student, which is available from the base paper. That these are the different languages. Now they know all the name of the language, why that language is used, what is that language for. And here it is given the energy consumption. So I said that whenever you develop any code, just see that which language you are developing the code, and when you compile, how much energy you are using. So slowly, what they started doing during the semester, whenever they have any practical sessions or project or anything, they started collecting this particular energy data. So at the end, I have lots of data for around 30 to 40 languages whenever students are coding, and then they are giving the data that this much energy consumption, this many threads are used. So ready-made data I started getting because I can inculcate that learning attitude into the student through OBR model. Now, when students are putting effort, I have converted this as a part of their assignment. So instead of writing and copying assignment, they are doing this assignment. And as per this rubric, they were given the mark. So rubrics are designed, evaluation rubric, and it was shared with them. And then they perform very well. So what is the outcome? Outcome is that we can publish a paper into one international conference, IEEE sponsored conference in 2020. 2019, we have started with the subject in the even semester, and 2020, by the time semester get over, we can publish this particular paper. Now, let us see that what other attributes are developed using OBR model compared to our regular academic teaching learning. Now you can compare with the previous module. Now we have developed communication skills into the student. We have developed professionalism, because whenever they write a paper along with us, what we do, we check the plagiarism. We write in a technical English instead of a normal English. When we go for presentation in the conference, we behave in a professional way as a team. So all these other attributes are developed. Lifelong learning is developed into the student because they know that which language is used. So in future, when as an independent developer, he join any company, he knows which language to use and why. Which language use minimum energy, what is the reason, everything the students can learn. This is one more exercise given as assignment, and student got the best poster presentation award when they presented that poster on the multi-threading. And all this data, I would say results, are collected by the students. They made this particular poster and then they presented. So we are like, as a faculty, our efforts are minimal. We are just showing the way, but then they are collecting so many good things for us. So you can see that when we teach like this into the classroom, because of the time limitation, we cannot do as a workshop activity. But when you do this particular activity into the class, the students' ability, learning ability also enhances over the period of time. You can see that 2018 to 20, 3 consecutive years, I have taught the same subject. But in 2018, normal teaching learning, like a traditional teacher, PPT, some videos I have shown. So I can ask the questions only up to remember, understand level. And students also attempted up to that level and their exams are over. But slowly, when I started introducing this OBR model, activity, peer learning, this kind of the thing into the system, the students' ability to answer the questions on analyze, apply, and even evaluate level has increased. So over the year, I can ask a better quality questions. So whenever any accreditation committee come, they say that teaching learning process outcome is your results. And we want to see that how you have improved your question quality, question papers. So this is how you can improve your question qualities as well. PO attainment, COPO, like whenever you do, after that we do attainment process. You can see that before OBR implementation, only first 4 POs were attained. But after OBR implementation, another POs are also considered and they are also attained in this particular subject. So we get a better COPO attainment. Instead of concentrating only between PO1 to PO5, I got a good spread of the PO attainment over all 12. This is another, that was subject of green IT, which I have taken. Then this model was shared across all the faculty member of the college, and then other teachers also started implementing. So I'm showing the other teachers' work now. This is the subject of data structures and algorithm, DSA for second year students. So you can see that before implementing this model, students were less comfortable in giving answers to the typical question. And we all know that data structure is a subject which maximum questions are asked in a placement process of the student. So students were less confident. But when we started doing this OBR model implementation into the class, maximum student become confident in giving answers to complicated questions which are asked by the industry people. So this is the rating, like comparison. So we just asked student that, do you know data structure before OBAR? So they said, no, we are not very confident and we lack confidence. We are not very sure whether we will be able to solve difficult questions and all. After implementation, majority of the students, they shifted their trajectories. You can see that after implementation, all the students, majority of the students, they are confident in handling DSA questions. So we were very much sure that now they are prepared themselves for the higher level of learning, which will definitely going to help them in the final year, though they were second year students. But DSA questions maximum time are asked in the placement process. So you can see that how the linked list data structure concept pre-OBAR and post-OBAR. So level 3, 4 and 5 has improved a lot. Student confidence, skill level has improved. This is another subject in the third year of computer engineering department. Uh, the IS is the name of the subject. The teacher has divided the whole class into the assignment groups, small groups, and then societal problems were identified and given where technological interventions are required. So all AI, data analytics and all, students started applying that, and at the end teachers have produced very good research papers on the findings of the process. You can see that how the OBAR has been improved. This is the PO attainment level in the final year of one subject called the machine learning. So pre and post comparison I'm showing you. This is AISE, artificial intelligence and software security. So it is like for any kind of subject, we have applied this model and we got a success rate. That is what I wanted to show you. Now, how the students' ability and the faculty ability as well as a teacher also, we are improving ourselves day by day. How it is assured that if you take a question paper in 1920, my own question paper, it has this kind of level. Remember 7 questions, understand 9-mark question, analysis 7, apply 7. But in 2021, when I applied OBAR model, remember question I have asked only 1, understand only 3. All the questions were on analysis, apply and evaluate level and in the undergraduate studies. Normally, it's a thumb rule that till undergraduate we should ask question only up to analysis level, and when they go to PG, apply and evaluate will be there, and when they go to PhD, create will come. But when we apply this model, we can train our undergraduate students on the better level. So, and we as a faculty also improve ourselves, our teaching, learning, knowledge base. We become more confident when we apply this model. So comparison of the PO attainment, you can see 18-19 2.58 and 2021 we got 2.65. These are only PO1, PO2, PO3, and then additional POs also started attainment. So we can see that after implementation of OBAR, our PO attainment has improved. So machine learning subject, when we applied, the students have collected so much of data during this OBAR model that machine learning I have applied last year. So I had an experience of 3 to 4 years in OBAR. So I have decided that let us make a book and we could collect the full material for the book through this activity of OBAR module wise activity. Lots of data is collected. Otherwise, single-handedly, if I will sit, I will collect all the data of 300-page book, then I have to devote additional time, which I might not have, being my technical schedule, my family time. I might not have that much time to develop my own book. But by this activity, so much of data is supported that I could do that activity with minimal effort, which is a Kaizen principle, and we could publish 2 Scopus Index paper, 1 patent, and I could take 1 FDP on reinforcement learning in different colleges. Even Indian Air Force also, I have taken this particular FDP. So that is how the faculty develop themselves gradually when we start practicing OBAR model. So that is how I am just telling you that it is a tested model. So you will also, when you start practicing, you will also improve your trajectory. Like as a faculty, you will be acknowledged into the society. So the another subject is software engineering and project management. The faculty members, the group of faculty members who are taking that, they can also publish their book. It is available on the Amazon and Flipkart. And the PhD research scholars are guided in this particular topic because so much of learning has emerged during that particular OBR implementation, and new algorithm itself is designed. The lectures are taken for Indian Navy INS Hamla by the faculty members, those who have implemented in this subject. So this model, when engineering we were successful, then we started deploying into the management type of a subject, where we have MBA, MMS, those kind of the management studies. The consumer behavior was one of the subject. In that we have changed the approach slightly. In the OBAR, what approach was taken, that ultimately goal was to design one very good case study, because management studies are towards case. So we want to make that caselet or the case study. So in that, what happened, lots of survey results are required. The student have to go out, collect the data from the society on a particular questionnaire, and then we can design the caselet on the theory of the consumer behavior. So these are the points divided into the subject: problem recognition, information search, evaluation, purchase decisions, and post-purchase behavior, to write the paper into the management, case study, not the paper, case study into the management subject. So all the small stores nearby the area, we have approached, students started going out into the society, they started understanding the problem of the SMEs. And as a faculty, there were two ways handshake. Like we got a data for the case, we got a problem also of the small and medium scale stores near our area, and we started doing consultancy for them. Because theories we were knowing as a faculty of management school, and our management faculty started guiding those SMEs for improving their profits, improving their digital marketing, improving their data set. So in that way, we have designed the activity, and faculty got a good consultancy and develop a caselet. This is the acknowledgement we got on the national level for outcome-based academic research model by the fraternity of the faculty members. So ultimately, what is the outcome of OBR framework? Because we are in that outcome-based education system. So what is the outcome of OBR framework? The first outcome is lots of knowledge is created. When we implement this model in a stepwise manner, lots of knowledge is generated. The same knowledge you can use for your research outcome. You can develop a paper, you can develop case study from the same knowledge, you can guide your ME students, you can guide your PhD students. So that is upon you, because lots of knowledge is generated. Some you can use this year, some you can use next year. So it is like gradually knowledge keeps on generating. Students and faculty skills are enhancing, because we are now started thinking in a different level and different way. So our skills are enhancing, and definitely attitude as a researcher will be developed in students also, in us also. We like as an institute, we count good quality of research papers, so definitely we start collecting for NBA, NEC, NIRF. And when we have in one innovative idea also, during the semester or during the year or during 2 years, might be down the line slowly, but we can apply for very good grant, because that is an innovative idea. We have sufficient knowledge base, sufficient survey to support that. And whenever we go for survey, we have society connect, lots of MOUs we can make, which will support the grant application, and we can achieve this grant and consultancy. So these are the basic 4 outcomes which are required for very good academic research, can be achieved through implementation of outcome-based academic research model. So we have started bridging the gap between the expectations and our traditional teaching learning process through implementation of OBER model. Now I am stopping my presentation here, and any one of you have any questions, you can ask, or you can unmute yourself, or in the chat box you can write. Any one of you have any question for your own subject? Do you have any difficulty in this model, understanding the model, that how you can do it for your subject, or you have to suggest anything for improvement of this model? All the questions are welcome.
You can put your questions in the chat box. I don't think it is possible to unmute.
No
You can put
problem.
a
Let
question.
them put it in a chat box. I'll read it out and I'll give the answer. No problems. Is that mandate all COs should map with POs? uh, it is mandate on front side. That's all 6 COs or whatever number of COs you have, that should be mapped with PO, but all 12 PO should not be mapped, because when we have 48 to 50 subject in 4 years, some subject will contribute to some PO, some subject will contribute to another PO, and collectively at the end student will achieve all 12 POs. But normally in teaching learning, what happen, whenever we have that technical subjects or core subject, we get only first 5 PO mapping. So 5 POs will be attained very nicely, but communication skill, ethics, lifelong learning, all those PO, we don't have any activity or any subject dedicated to that. So they are never attained by the students or by the normal question papers and normal activity. But when we do this kind of activity, we are giving spread of the PO attainment. So all those PO also started attaining, which is very much required for the holistic development of the student. So the all CO should map to PO, but not to all PO. That is what I would like to say. Then what was another question?
How to implement OBE for practicals?
OBE practic or OBAR.
It's put
OBE,
OBE.
when you say outcome based education, for practical, whenever there is a practical, the experiment, it is from one of the module of your subject. So if your subject have 6 module and 10 experiment, the experiment will fall in one of the module. Whichever module that CO is mapping, practical will map with the same CO and PO. So those POs are mapped. But outcome based academic research model, that OBAR, if you want to implement into the practical through your experiments, you can, as I said, design lots of activity, and you can ask your students to join the communities, Google community, AWS community, where they are getting live challenges onto the topic given by you. So in that way, what happened, those industry problems you and your team can solve during the experiment, and you can submit to Google, you can submit to AWS, Microsoft, and you will get those appreciation certificate. So in that way you can improve implement OBR in experiments. You can implement OBR model in final exams also, no problem with that. But only thing, if you are affiliated to university, if you are affiliated college, your question papers might come from university. So you cannot have a particular question on the higher RBT level into the question paper. But if you are autonomous, definitely you can implement OBR in your final end semester examination. But it's a limitation on university because university doesn't follow OBR model. So their questions will be standard up to level 3, maximum up to level 3. Can we use a standard publication as a model to publish a good paper? I am really not sure about the question itself. If the Georges, Sumod George, if you can clarify the question. In hotel management course, how we can map practical session and so OBAR I will say, and OBE also, hotel management course. Hotel management, what happened like in the semester one, normally here in our institute or in our university, we teach in first year the decor of the venue, that kind of the activity. Second year they go for internship into the hotel, and third year they come back and then they experiment all those learning here. So I will give you an example that if you want to implement this model and if there is some festivity, now this month that Onam festival has come. So you can ask your hotel management students that prepare a Onam, authentic Onam lunch for your faculty members or might be your college, wear the traditional dress of the particular area like Kerala, that kind of the dress up, Onam festivity, that cuisine. So for that, what they will do, they will go into the market, they will study various authentic dishes, and they come back. In that way, what happen, you get connect to the hotels or the some restaurants which are serving something which is authentic. You can place your student for internship there, and together if you are able to design something, you can produce a case, because in hotel management also there are lots of case studies available. Success rate, if you have a multidisciplinary college, you can involve your IT computer students into it and you can design websites for small hotel, a kind of Swiggy Zomato app for them. You can improve their business. So in that way your hotel management institute will get a glory. So in that way we can implement OBAR. Whenever it is a K level, no, K level is knowledge, like pure theoretical knowledge. So with that we cannot build I would say attitude. To build the attitude we have to go to the another POs like ethics, societal involvement of the graduate, then professionalism, communication skill. So these are the attribute which are dedicated for A. K level पे you cannot, मतलब K is purely knowledge, S is skill, which are tools, problem solving skills, critical thinking. These are the skills. But attitude are this, like letter POs. So that will be achieved through OBR model. With OBE, it is slightly difficult. Traditional teaching learning, it is difficult. With OBAR, you can improve. Anyone, if you are implementing and have any difficulties, you can reach to us with your subject and the topic. We will design activity for you. Hi. All 12 attributes are there. The question is, can the OBR philosophy be implemented to outcome or not specifically to research? Because as a faculty, what I feel, no, academics, we all are very good because from many years we are in this field and we are doing this. But research, whenever somebody will ask about our research outcome, we have nothing to showcase much. Like our papers are not published in very good journals, or we don't have book in our name, or we might not have so many patents on our name. So, and these are the things nowadays is asked whenever you want to change a job, you want to get promotion in your own college, you want to have a better visibility in the society. These are the things which are becoming now measurable parameters. So I would say that as an academic faculty, now the era has come, we have to improve our research component as well. So that's why I am telling that it should be related. That's why I'm showing it that how you can do it without spending additional time. That is one motto of me is we don't have additional time. So in the given limited time period of 9 to 5, working for 90 days in a semester, achieve all the required outcomes of the research. All the psychomotor levels we are improving through OBAR, like all our skills, like you are building skills into the students by giving lots of activities. So whenever those activities are given, definitely we are improving the psychomotor skills. So knowledge was only through theory, but now this experiential way of learning, building knowledge base, peripheral knowledge, definitely we are improving the psychomotor skills, which is, yeah, definitely expected into NEP 2020. Any other questions are there? I think I've answered majority of the questions. Hope all of you have understood the session and implement the same in one of your subject, one of the module, at least one small module, start implementing it. You will enjoy your teaching learning as a faculty. Like you will have a model into your subject. If there are no more questions, we will wind up the session.
Yeah, I think, ma'am, you have taken all the questions now.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for that wonderful session. Thank you, Dr. Kamal Shah, for that informative session on OBAR. Now we will move on to the next FTP technical session. That is going to be, the topic is going to be mapping of outcomes. This is going to be delivered by Dr. 𝐬𝐭𝐳𝐿𝐴𝐺, Professor and Director, MCM Marine College, Kottayakal Autonomous, who is the MD and CEO of IPSR Solutions Limited as well. Now, Dr. 𝐬𝐭𝐳𝐿𝐴𝐺 is an academician and an entrepreneur with 35 plus years of experience and is the former director of School of Applicable Mathematics, MG University. He's a PhD in operations research and has to his credit a number of national and international publications and guided PhD students in mathematics and computer science. He is also the CEO of IPSR Solutions Limited, an IT company supporting higher education institutions in the implementation of outcome-based education and innovative teaching, learning, and assessment strategies. He is part of the team which has trained more than 30,000 faculty members on outcome-based education pan India. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sijin. Am I audible?
Yes, you are, sir.
Good evening, all respected faculty members. So you had a wonderful section on OBAR. Actually, during the last 1 week, we had sections on the design of outcomes, the fundamentals. Then we had the case study of a Canadian university. Today we had a case study on OBAR model. Again, we had sections on generative AI and again, how to use generative AI in teaching, learning, and assessment, and research also. So today and tomorrow, we will discuss about the attainment of outcomes, how to calculate the attainment, how to map the outcomes, so that when we go for the process, implementation process, every faculty will be thorough with the concepts. The underlying principle of OBE is begin with the end in mind. So that means once you can understand how the attainment are calculated, it is very easy to implement the processes. So today we will just go through the mapping of outcomes. And tomorrow we will discuss how we can calculate the attainment and some of the tools which we can use, the analytical reports based on the attainment, and how it can be used for the accreditation purpose and the branding of the institution. So I will just share my screen and we'll start with the mapping. So my screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So we will just start with the course outcomes, because all these SOs. Okay, so we will just start with the course outcome, so that today we will see how we can map the activities or the assessments with the course outcomes, then how to map COs with POs. This also was discussed during the last day section. So COs are major domain-specific outcomes written using action verb. That is very important. When we write a CO, we should use an action verb from the Bloom's taxonomy levels, which are specific, measurable, and can be demonstrated by students on completion of the course. So that is how we design the COs. Just give you an example. This is actually the template for writing the course outcomes. You have to start with the action verb, the content or a topic to be learned, and the context. Okay, this is actually a course outcome of one of my courses, graph theory. I'm teaching graph theory for computer science students. Okay, so this is one of my CO. I'll start with apply, that is action verb. Apply graph representations and algorithms in computer science, that is the context. So the student should be able to apply graph theory in computer science after the completion of the course. So this is how we used to design the course outcomes. Okay. Then these are some examples. I think already you have gone through this section. So I'll quickly go through the slides. And now you know how to check the quality of a good outcome. Already there is a task in the LMS. I hope you have done all these tasks. Okay. Now coming to the mapping process. So in OBE, we have two levels of mapping. Level 1 is CO to PO mapping or CO to PSO mapping. If you have both PO and PSO, CO to PO mapping and CO to PSO mapping is level 1. Okay. Then the level 2 mapping, that means each and every activities or assessments we used to conduct for the course, that we have to map with the respective course outcomes. So if you have n number of COs, or if you have 5 or 6 course outcomes, all these activities which we conduct during the semester, that can be mapped with the different COs, and the assessments also we can map with the different COs. Okay, we will discuss this with an example. Now, when we go for the assessment in OB for attainment calculation, the final assessment is done by the estimation of program outcome and program specific outcomes, which will serve as a profile of the student's competencies. That means once if we calculate the POs and PSOs for a particular student, that can also act as the profile of the student. POs and PSOs are estimated from the component of COs related to the respective POs and PSOs. See, for example, every CO will be mapping with the different POs and different PSOs also. So once if we calculate the COs, automatically we can calculate the value of the attainment of POs and PSOs, because already that mapping is done. So that is the way we can calculate the attainment of POs and PSOs. COs are estimated from the component learning outcome of the activity related to the course. So the first step in this process is to determine the mapping of the related components and determining the strength of mapping between lower order and higher order outcomes. Lower order outcomes means the COs. Higher order outcomes means the POs and the PSOs. Now, for this mapping purpose, we can use a mapping scale. This is a standardized mapping scale for outcome-based education. See, for example, if there is no relationship between a particular question, if you are conducting an exam, maybe your question paper consists of maybe 10 questions or 15 questions or 20 questions. Each of these questions you will be mapping with the respective COs, course outcomes. And if there is no relationship between a particular question and a CO, the weightage of the mapping is 0. That means it's a nil relationship. And if low relationship between a question and a CO, you can give weightage 1. And if it is moderate relationship, you can give a weightage 2. And if it is significant relationship, we can give a weightage of 3. So this is the way we can map the assessments questions with the COs. And the percentage of attainment that we will discuss later when we calculate the attainment. So we will start with an example. Okay. For a course outcome, we know there should be an action verb. It starts with an action verb, and there is a learning domain. And if it is an activity like an assignment or a seminar or a question, again the question we will start with an action verb, again from Bloom's taxonomy, and there is the learning statement. Okay, so we can see the similarity between a question and a CO. A question, you will start with an action verb. So if it is a Romer level question, we will start with the what is or define something. Or if it is an understand level question, we will start with yes plain in your own words or something like that. So again, it starts with an action verb. So every question, if you want to frame by using Bloom's taxonomy, it should start with an action verb. Okay. The same way with the course outcomes, as we have seen some examples. The same way, the course outcome also start with an action verb, and there is a learning domain after that. Okay. Now, we will discuss with an example so that you can understand it easily. Suppose I have a course outcome for the course or the section called Bloom's taxonomy. The first day of this FDP, you had a section on Bloom's taxonomy. So for that particular section, if there is a course outcome like this, on completion of this course, the participants will be able to apply the Bloom's taxonomy in framing questions. So we had a wonderful section on Bloom's taxonomy by Dr. Sunil Jha, has given some examples. Sorry. And there were discussions so that every participant may be thorough with the concept of Bloom's taxonomy. Now, the course outcome means every participant should apply Bloom's taxonomy in framing questions. Okay. So can anybody say which level of CO is this? We have written a CO here. What is the level of this course outcome according to Bloom's taxonomy? Sorry. You can put it in the chat box. I'm asking about this particular course outcome. What is the level of this course outcome according to Bloom's taxonomy? Level 3. Okay, okay. Okay, it is level 3. Yeah, fine. So the level of the taxonomy is, 3. That means it's an apply level CU. Now, this is my first question in the question paper. If I want to conduct an exam. See, now, after the section, I want to know whether all the participants have attained this outcome. So for that purpose, as teacher, what we will do, we will conduct an assessment. Suppose we will conduct an exam. So this is an exam, and this is my first question. Explain the different levels of learning in cognitive level. So what is the level of this question? Explain the level of, explain the different levels of learning in cognitive level. What is the level of this question? Anybody? Level 2, understand. Okay. Okay. So many has answered. No? Okay. So it is understand level. Explain the different levels of learning in cognitive domain. Can a student memorize the concept and write the exam? If I'm asking a question like this, is it possible that a student can memorize the concept and write the exam? Okay, that is possible. No? Explain the different levels of learning in cognitive domain means there are 6 levels. So any student can just memorize it, like remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluate, and the last one is create. Okay, so it can be a remember level question. Otherwise, if he is explaining in his own words with some examples, for example, see, remembering level, uh, he's explaining what it is, and if he's trying to give some examples, then it can be an understand level. Okay, so that means this question can be of the K1 level, remembering level. Otherwise, we have to ask like this, explain the different levels of learning in cognitive level and give some examples also. Definitely, it can be an understanding level. Okay. Now, my course outcome is apply level, K3. Okay. I'm trying to assess the student whether the student has attained this course outcome. Okay, that is my goal. And for that purpose, now I am asking a question for the exam, and this is level 1. My question is level 1. Okay. To give you some insights, if the student is getting 100% mark for this particular question, okay, can I assume that the student has attained this outcome? What is your opinion? If the student is getting 100% mark for this particular question, and what about the question level attainment? Can I say that the student has attained this outcome, or can I assume like that? Okay. What is your answer? Okay. No. Yeah. I will share in a different method. I cannot see the chat. I will try. Okay. Okay. So that is correct. What you said is correct. We cannot say that the student has attained this outcome. If I'm asking a question like this is a K1 level 1 question, and my course outcome is of level 3. Okay. Now, if I want to map this question, this particular question with the CO is of level 3 and my question is of level 1. What should be the mapping strength? We are using a 4-point scale. 0 if there is nil relationship, 1, 2, and 3. 3 if it is significant relationship. So what should be the mapping strength? 0, 1, 2, or 3? Any idea? One. Okay, it's correct. Wait, 0 means if there is no relationship at all, because this CO is anyway related to Bloom's taxonomy. It's apply level CO. It's okay, fine. And our question is also related to Bloom's taxonomy. So in that case, definitely there is some relationship. So we can say you can give one the value 1. Okay, not 0. Yeah, now it's fine. I hope all of you understood the concept. This is the way we have to map the course outcomes, the questions with the course outcomes. Now my second question, using Bloom's taxonomy, prepare an analyze level question in your subject. This is another question. Second question in my question paper. Here also my objective is whether the participants have attained the outcome. I hope my screen is not visible. Just 1 minute. I will share again. Okay, so this is my second question. Using Bloom's taxonomy, prepare an analyze level question in your subject. So what is the level of this question? Anybody? Using Bloom's taxonomy, prepare an analyze level question in your subject. What is the level of this question? Applied. Yeah. So we are asking the student to apply Bloom's taxonomy in framing an analyze level question. Okay, the question should be analyze level, but using Bloom's taxonomy, the participants has to frame the questions. That means, again, applying. It's not analyzing, it's applying. But the person has to frame a question on the apply level. Okay. So this is an apply level question. Okay. Then we have the CO, the course outcome, which is of apply level, and the question is also of apply level. That means if the student get 100% mark for this particular question, then can I assume that based on this question, there is full attainment for the CO? Is it correct? What is your opinion? Yeah. So that means the level of the CO and the level of the question are same. Okay. So what about the mapping then? What should be the mapping? This question mapped with that CO? Yeah, of course. It is level 3. Significant mapping. Yeah, that is correct. Okay, that's fine. Now, I have the third question. I'll show you the third question. My third question is this one. Analyze the given set of 25 questions of your course based on Bloom's taxonomy. That means you are given a set of 25 questions. A set of 25 questions of your course. And you have to analyze each and every question. You have to go through each and every question and analyze whether those questions belong to K1 or K2 or etc. K6. So you have to classify the questions into different taxonomy levels. And this is one of the tasks provided the first day, your question paper analysis. That is an Excel sheet. I think you might have done it. Okay. So what is the level of this question? You have to analyze your question paper and check whether each question belongs to which category. So what is the level of this question? Okay. Yeah. It's only analyze level. Just we are analyzing it. Okay. So this is K4. It's okay, fine. Now, what should be the mapping strength? My course outcome is apply level and my question is analyze. And I have to map this analyze level question to the apply level CO. 3, okay. Yes, it is correct because analyze is a higher order than apply level. Okay, it's correct. So the mapping strength is 3. That means if the student is getting 100% mark for this particular question, we can say that full attainment of this outcome with respect to that question. Now, according to the philosophy of OBE, once if you design the outcome for a particular course, as a faculty, our goal is attain the outcome by the students. For that purpose, we conduct teaching learning activities, different types of teaching learning activities. And finally, we have the semester exam. And in between also, we have the continuous assessment. And the assessment is to check whether the students have attained that outcome. Okay. Now we have designed an outcome that is of apply level, that means level 3. And we are asking a question of level 4. Just to understand your opinion, is it relevant to ask a higher order question for a low order CU? What is your opinion? Okay, we can ask. My question is, your CO is apply level. Now you are asking a question on analyze level or You can also ask a question on evaluate level likewise. Okay. Definitely, you can ask a question like that. It is correct. You can ask a question like that. My question is, if you're teaching the students, if you're delivering the course in such a way that the students are able to analyze or able to evaluate something, or even if they are able to create something, then why you have fixed your CEO on the lower level? Is it meaningful to fix a lower order CEO? And in the same module or in the same course, you are teaching the students to for the analyze level or evaluate level of knowledge. Okay. So in the most of the universities where we visit and we had discussions, most of the cases now, the course outcomes, at least in some cases, they have designed in the low order. But the same module, I think you, you have discussed how to design the CEOs. You can design the CEOs horizontally or vertically. Horizontally means if you have 5 modules or 5 units in your syllabus, each module or each unit you can have CEOs. That is the horizontal way of designing the CEOs. Otherwise, for the entire syllabus, we can have, say, 4 or 5 CEOs. Okay, so that the CEOs may be interlinked between the units or modules. So the two methods are there to design the CEOs. Both are correct. And in particular, some courses you need to have the vertical way of CEO designing. Otherwise, you can go for the module-wise or unit-wise design of CEOs. And if you go by module-wise or horizontal, that will be more convenient for attainment calculation and for mapping. Both are correct. Okay. Suppose in one module, if you are teaching the student to apply a concept, the same module you're teaching them to apply the concept, and if you're designing the CEO on the understand level, so you're fixing a benchmark like this. So what is the need of teaching the student in the apply level? So your CEO should be the benchmark. Okay. So whenever you design a CEO, fix it in the higher level. Higher level means if you're teaching the student to analyze something, you put in the analyze level CEO. Okay. Then there is an argument like every student may not be able to attain that CEO. It is correct. Every student may not be able to attain that CEO. So in that case, you can ask lower order questions in that particular for that particular module. And these lower order questions you can map with the CEOs also. And you will be fixing a target for the CEO. See, for example, if you're conducting an exam for a particular course, you will fix a maximum mark, like 100 marks is a maximum, or in some other case, 50 marks is a maximum. And we are not expecting that every student is getting 100% mark. In that case, you have a pass mark, like 40% or 50% or 60%. That is a pass mark for a particular course. The same way, we can have a target for the entire batch for the CEO, for a particular CEO. Suppose we have this particular CEO that is of apply level, and we are not expecting that everybody will be attaining that CEO. So we'll be fixing a target like 60% or a 70%, so that we can say 60% or 70% of the students in the batch will attain again 60% or 70% of the of that particular CO. Okay, so in that way we can go for the attainment calculation. Okay. So in this case, just for providing you some insights on design of CEOs and mapping, So if you're asking a higher order question for a lower order CO, definitely the next time you have to redesign the COs, the higher order. So the same way, I have given some more examples. Again, this is another CO. On completion of this course, the participants will be able to analyze the questions based on Bloom's taxonomy levels. So we can ask a question like, what are the different levels of learning and cognitive level? Again, it is a K1. So level 1 to level 4. So we can map this level 1 question to level 4 CO. Again, you can give 1 because there is some relationship between this question and the CO. The same way, using Bloom's taxonomy, prepare an analyze level question in your subject. That is an apply level question. This is a level 3 question. Level 3 question, you can map with the level 4 CO. You can give, say, 2 in that case, because your question is 1 level less than the CO. Level of CO is 4. Level of question is 3. So that your question is 1 level less than the CO. So you can give 2 in that case. So this is a way we can map these questions, assessments with the COs. The same way we can map assignments or seminars or any other assessments with the COs. So you can look at the cognitive challenge of that particular assessment activity. The assignment for assignment and seminars, you can definitely go for higher order taxonomy levels. So you can just look at the cognitive challenge of that assignment and the level of the CO. So you can map assessments again with that. I hope this is clear. If you have any clarification, we will have 5 minutes, and after that we will go for the COPO mapping. Any questions you can put in the chat box. Otherwise, we will go for the COPO mapping. It's very simple. Look at the level of the CO, look at the level of the question, and you can check the relationship. So if you are using a 4-point scale, a CO should be measurable and definitely a CO should be measurable and observable. That is the definition of the CO itself. It is there. No? That is why it should start with an action verb from Bloom's taxonomy. Or otherwise, we can say that a CO is a glorified question. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. I hope it is clear. Then, okay. This is analyze. Yeah. It is measurable, no? Definitely. Analyze type of questions are measurable. See, for example, if you ask the student, even your question paper analysis, that is measurable. You can analyze each and every questions based on stats on levels, and you will get a answer. Or you can ask the student to analyze between VAT and GST. You cannot ask, maybe it's difficult to ask that question for the subsequent exam, but as an assignment you can give, analyze the VAT and GST. VAT is the previous system, GST is the new system, that way. Okay. So we'll continue with, okay, one more question in the last section, where students were asked to do some tasks which were of higher knowledge level. How do we explain that, as we cannot set a very high K level for undergraduate students? We explain that as we asked to do some tasks which were of higher knowledge level. How do we explain that, as we cannot set a very high K level for undergraduate level? Definitely we can set a high K level for undergraduate. See, that depends on the course. For example, my subject is mathematics. So in most of my courses, mathematics courses, you cannot set a CO on the create level or even evaluate level. It's not possible. But maybe for some subjects or courses like literature, some humanities subjects, even you can go up to create level. Okay, that depends on the course. And in a course, again, in a course, we may have different modules and different units. See, for example, in one unit, you are teaching something, and if the students are able to apply the concept after going through that module, definitely you can fix an apply level CO in that case. In one of the colleges in Tamil Nadu, when I have conducted a section, there is a course called food technology. The first module itself, uh, the students are learning how to prepare a particular type of food. Okay, but they have designed the CO on the understand level only. Then after the discussion, they have redesigned the CO, the apply level, because the students are studying, no, how to prepare the food. So that means they're actually applying it. After understanding, they're applying it, really applying. So that depends on your course and the module. What are the cognitive challenges? There is some rule that we need to confine to K3 for UG level students. Most of the cases, sir, it is possible only up to apply level for UG level. But maybe in some cases, that also depends on the particular course. In some cases, you can go up to analyze level. Yeah. How can we identify changes in course outcomes when dealing with a group of heterogeneous students with varying levels of knowledge? No. CO we are fixing based on your subject. Not you are not looking at the students, because already we have designed the syllabus. Uh, Actually, the philosophy of OB is different. You have to design the COs first. So if it is an undergraduate student, you have to fix the COs accordingly. And based on the COs only, you have to design the syllabus. But in India, most of the universities, the reverse is happening, because we are designing the syllabus, then we are designing the COs. So once you have designed the syllabus, based looking at the syllabus, you can understand what would be the outcome. That is what I mentioned earlier. Each module or each unit you can go through, and you are teaching the course, no? So you know what are the teaching learning activities, and you know what are the outcome, what should be the outcome after going through that module. So in that way, you can set the CO, and that does not depend on the varying levels of knowledge of the students actually, because as I mentioned earlier, we are not expecting that every student is attaining 100% the outcome. That is why we are fixing a target. That tomorrow we will discuss about that target when we calculate the attainment. So then it may be more clear to you. Okay. Now we will just go through that mapping of COPO. After that, we will answer the questions. Otherwise, our time will be is limited now. So this is how we can map the outcomes. So after the mapping process, we'll get a table like this. You can see there are around 15 questions, solely example. Then suppose there are 5 COs, each question mapped with a different COs with a different mapping strengths. This is only an example. Okay. So this is what we will get after mapping each question with the different COs. Then the COPO mapping. This is the level 1 mapping. Already I have mentioned it earlier. Now, our PO means it's based on a graduate attributes. Suppose we have a graduate attribute like communication skills. So how we will write the PO? The communication skills, you can identify the different competencies related to communication skills, like read, write, speak, comprehend, or use modern technologies for a communication purpose. So we can identify different competencies related to that graduate attribute. Similarly, for every graduate attribute, you can identify the competencies related to that graduate attribute. So for every PO, you have the competencies listed. Okay. Now, coming to the course outcome, already we have discussed the course outcome. It will start with an action verb, and there is a learning statement. Okay. Now, if you are mapping a CO, suppose CO1 with the PO1, then you have to check how many of the competencies of that PO1 are addressed by this particular CO. Based on that, we can map. If more than 40% of the competencies are addressed by that CO, for example, if there are 5 competencies for a particular PO, that means 40% means 2. So out of these 5 competencies, if 2 of the competencies are addressed by a particular CO, we can give the highest mapping. That means 3. Or between 25% and 40%, you can give 2. Between 5% and 25%, you can give 1. Or if it is less than 5%, you can give 0. So this is actually the process. But as a faculty member, with your experience, you can do it without much difficulty. See, it's just like a paper valuation. So for the first of 10 answer papers, you need maybe 1 hour or more than 1 hour for the valuation purpose. And the remaining 50 or 60 papers, you will do it in 1 or 2 hours. The same way, it's only in the beginning you may find some difficulty. So this is the process. This is the philosophy of COPO mapping. But with experience, looking at the CO and PO, you can give them mapping strength. That is not a big problem. And even if there is a slight difference or in the mapping, that will not affect much in the calculation of attainment. Because when we implement OB in a full sync, in a proper way, you need n number of activities. You need more activities so that minor variations in the mapping will not affect your attainment calculation. Okay, so this is the way we can map the COs with the POs. The same way COs with the PSOs also. This is an example, the table after mapping process. So we have 5 course outcomes here. 5 course outcomes, you can see 9 POs. So these are only an example. Okay, you don't look at the values, so you'll get a table like this. The same way we can map COs with the PSOs if you have PSOs. In some of the institutions only you have POs. If you have PSOs, again, the CO PSO mapping, you can do like this. Okay, so this is the process. And if you have any doubts, you can ask. So we have discussed how we can map questions with the COs. And the same way you can map any assessment, assignment or seminar with the COs. And then CO PO mapping and the CO PSO mapping. Okay. Any questions? And you have an activity, the LMS. I'll explain that also. This is the activity. Formulation of assessment questions with respect to a course outcome and finding the mapping strength. Okay. See, for example, you can write a course outcome of your course here, and you can have a Rombring level question. That particular, if it is a module, that module or unit, you can write a question here, and you can give the mapping strength. This question to that CO. Again, you can use the same course outcome or different course outcome, and you can have an understanding level question. Again, another course, the same course outcome you can use and apply level question, and finally an analyze level question in your particular course. And you can give the mapping strength. Okay, so this is the mapping scale given here. So you can download that this word format from the LMS, and you can do the activity there. So in the LMS, you have, I think, you have gone through the learning management system. We have today is day 6. One more activity is given there, that is for the tomorrow's section. So only this one, task 3 you have to do today. You can go through that. Please go through the other content also. There is a Padlet we are using. It will be open. Yeah, you will get it from tomorrow onwards. So you can use that question paper.ai, that AI application. I think you will get, I already have got the login for that. So you can frame questions, course outcomes and assessment activities through that tool. That is an AI application, and you can submit those within the Padlet. If you want to submit something in the Padlet, you just see, for example, if you want to submit your course outcomes, you just click this one, +1 button. You can type it here and update it. Before that, you can just log into Padlet by using your Gmail ID or something. Padlet is a free tool which you can use for your teaching learning activities. Tomorrow I will explain how you can use a Padlet for effectively in the classroom, especially for a submission of assignment and all. Okay. And regarding the question paper.ai, we have all the videos available here. You can go through these videos. So how to frame questions, how to frame design outcomes, again assessment activities, etc. And a lot of other reference materials are also available. Okay, please go through these contents. Then if you have any clarification or doubt, we will clear it tomorrow. Okay. So I hope there are no doubts, no questions in the chat box, so that we can wind up for the time being. If any questions are there, please put it in the chat box. Otherwise, we can wind it. So tomorrow we will discuss how to calculate the attainment. So today we have discussed about the mapping. Tomorrow we will discuss about attainment calculation. Then some tools, some analytics. Again, we will discuss how we can use this OBE for your branding purpose. Then accreditation, improvement of the education quality. Many things we will discuss tomorrow. Okay. So thank you very much. Over to 𝐶𝐧.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for that wonderful session. We will have our last session tomorrow at 7 p.m. Please join in for that. Mehta sir will take tomorrow's session as well. Please join in at 7 p.m. And we will conclude with tomorrow's FDP. And tomorrow we will inform you regarding your certificate as well. Thank you very much. Have a pleasant day.